As we all know from the recent post that the Rell brothers put inside the Rell Seas Discord server, Rell Seas isn't coming out in 2025. They essentially confirmed it with this GIF. And a lot of people feel a type of way about the way they conveyed that message. I've seen people say, is this their form of an apology? Where's the apology? Is there not going to be an apology? Is there not an explanation? A lot of people kind of already knew this was going to happen, so they just took this information with a grain of salt and completely moved on. I mean, first things first, we all know that Rell Seas will eventually come out, and the Rell brothers have been working on the game for years. However, it's just the fact that Rell Seas was promised to everybody to be releasing in 2025, and unfortunately, as we know now, well, as we knew, but it has been confirmed now that this game is not releasing in 2025. However, the Rell brothers didn't leave us nothing. They actually left a message to the community in a form of a explanation and an apology. So this is basically a note or a message from the Rell brothers to everyone, essentially. And this message was posted inside the Rell Seas Discord server, subscriber chat channel, and obviously I had to ask permission to even cover this. So let's actually get into it. Rell Bad at 7 p.m. yesterday UK time, he said, to begin with, we need more time to finish a stable version of the game. My bro and I work 12 to 16 hours a day, but we couldn't make it for 2025. I apologize for promising a 2025 release. We wanted to release this year, but it's just not possible as of today. Again, I will say most of us are not actually very surprised by this. Everyone kind of speculated that Rell Seas was not coming in 2025, but you do still have a handful of people who are hopelessly optimistic. But this serves as an apology. That's not all. There's more. Rell Bad then said, this is our first project working with a team. It did come with some challenges. Our team members on percent are expected to work 2 to 4 hours a day. Because of this situation, we've had to take time hiring more sound designers and animators. Moving on, you haven't seen much mesh deform rigs this year. We had animation issues, bone issues, and meshes not loading. All rigs and animations were broken in game due to underlying issues with our ownership asset. Some meshes weren't loading due to this. Also, detached attachment features, basically fruit VFX. The outcome of all of this is all rigs currently fixed and re-uploaded as of this day. We have re-uploaded thousands of animations into Rell Seas. This took up a lot of our time while progressing with the game. Ox Zone Fruit has 80 plus animations in a single rig, thousands of animations. All the issues listed above have been resolved, but ultimately held us back. Now, a lot of the information just said, genuinely, especially the technical things, genuinely don't mean anything to the average Roblox player. However, this is being stated out in the public just so that the public can know that they've had technical issues that they've had to work on and rework on, which ultimately ended up hindering the timing of everything going smoothly. But again, most casual players, most players don't actually care about the technicalities of things. All they know is that Rell Seas isn't coming out in 2025, and that's all they care about, as they should as consumers. Now, Rell Bad also went on to say, a majority of the modeling side is completed. Future modeled content planned for at least 3 years. This content still needs to be animated / worked on, which is crazy. We're going to have at least 3 years worth of content that is planned for the game. Essentially, the content isn't going to be in game on release. However, we're going to have updates coming out when the game releases at what should be a semi-regular rate, which is honestly amazing to see. The Rell brothers also stated that they built multiple seas and a whole bunch of islands that we've seen inside their YouTube channel, and they've rebuilt seas and they rebuilt all the seas that we've seen as of today, which means all the past movies and devlogs that we've seen of islands in the game have been redone. They also added a new combat system, a new crafting and blacksmithing system, a new cooking system, new selling and market system, a new mining system, a new fishing system, new talents, new boss systems, a new wanted system, a new sea beast hunting system, a new ship system, new ocean systems, which is actually super interesting because oceans doesn't only cover the surface, the sea, but also covers underwater content. They've also added new NPC map interaction, new dialogue, new missions, new ship systems, and new event systems, and just the majority of the game systems overall, which is actually a lot of content that should be completed. Well, they stated it's completed, so it is completed, but regardless, that's a lot. And then at the end of the message, Rell also said, "We don't plan to release a perfect version of Rell Seas. We'll be set back way too far. It will be a stable version of the game that gets regular updates, and we'll then work on making it near perfect. We don't want to slop out and release linear progression. Example, C1, then releasing C2, and so forth. Our goal has always been non-linear and spawning into a random sea. What we are working on currently is re-implementing all mesh form rigs, progression, which includes fruits, abilities, bosses, and missions." Now, what I will quickly say about this, right, which is really interesting, is when they said our goals always been non-linear and spawning into random seas, which actually makes me a little bit, I don't want to say excited, because the hype for the game should most definitely die down. We're gonna have to wait until God knows 2026, I assume mid or end of summer. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that means not only are you gonna be able to spawn in C1 in different islands in C1, but you're gonna be able to spawn in C2 and C3, which is going to be crazy. Starting progressions at different points, probably depending on what race you are, because some races are in different locations in One Piece. That's going to be super interesting. So not everyone's just going to spawn in the same place like Upper Arisia or something like that. Everyone's going to have different points, different starting points, and different ways to progress to reach similar points to other races, or potentially just wherever people end up spawning in general. I'm very sure there's going to be a criteria to spawn in different locations, and the only thing that would make sense to me is races, which is why I mentioned it. And I wonder how everything's going to intertwine with each other. Genuinely, this just gives me more questions that I would love to have answered, and what progressing through these places is going to look like depending on what race you are. Let's say, for example, you're a Skypian and you're a regular human. One of them is C2 and the other one C1. Obviously, those islands are going to have their own version of trainers and progression, and maybe even certain NPCs you encounter to help you with training whatever you end up going, whether it's hockey, weapon, etc. How is all of that going to end up tying together? And if I'm a human, can I go to Skypiea and learn training from the Skypiea trainers, or do I have to go through my own progression route? Again, I don't want to generate hype. I'm just asking questions, okay? We're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, Rell Seas is already hype, but the delay is actually really depressing and upsetting. It is what it is. Everything ties together, I guess. But yeah, that's the end of the message, and that's the end of this video. Let me know what you guys thinking, feeling, want to say in the comment section down below, because honestly, there's a lot to this. Again, we are in the Roblox anime community, and I want to emphasize, it doesn't matter if the game is big or small. Yes, Rell Seas is a huge game. Genuinely, this is like the Roblox anime version of GTA 6 in terms of scale, hyperability, in general, right? You get what I'm trying to say. So it would take time and things like this could occur, but in general, it doesn't really matter how big the game is. You guys have to take Roblox anime developers' words with a grain of salt. Actions always speak louder than words, and that's not me saying Rell Seas isn't performing or being up to standards. We know the devs are working. However, when someone says something, it doesn't matter. You have to see the results of what was said. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Love and appreciate y'all. Peace.